2005 Philadelphia officer Michael Pawlowski was killed in Beirut. And so his family in their mourning just decided they wanted to do something to continue to honor him, and they started this program. So from those humble and small beginnings in Philadelphia, placing a few wreaths the first Saturday of every December, this program has grown now to where right now there's people in 26 states putting wreaths on graves to honor these officers. And it's an issue that people are aware of, and you hear it in the news, but you know, how aware are you? Since they started recording line of duty deaths, 27,000 officers have died in the line in our country. 146 last year. This year it's down a little bit, 126 so far. So, but we have to do something to stop this, not just remember them after they're gone. So please think about that when you cast your votes. And that's all I got. So we're going to start here today with someone that's close to several of us. We're fortunate to have Chief Canale from Melvindale with us. Mayor Shakira's with us. And Corporal Saeed's brother's on his way. Corporal Mohammed Syed, Melvindale Police Department. End of watch, Sunday, July 21st, 2024. Corporal Mohammed Syed was shot and killed near the intersection of Oakwood Boulevard and Dix Road while pursuing a subject at 11:38 a.m. Officers were dispatched to a call for service at a nearby car wash. Corporal Syed arrived at the scene and pursued one of the subjects who opened fire, fatally wounding him. The subject, who was paroled in June, fled the scene on a stolen bicycle. After an intense manhunt by local county and federal officials, he was apprehended the next day. Corporal Saeed's handcuffs were used to secure the suspect. He has been charged with murder, being a felon, in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, and drug possession. Corporal Syed had served with the Melvindale Police Department for 14 months. He is survived by his parents and younger siblings. Corporal Syed was 26 years old, badge number 10. Canale, would you like to say anything? We also have some family members here today. Would any of you like to say anything?
My brother Corporal Saeed showed everybody that police officers are human just like everybody. He used to go work to make sure the city is safe and make sure all the children are happy. He used to go to the park, he used to go to drive by streets to make the kids happy. Just to show everybody that police officers are not like bad people. They're just like human like everybody else.
Everybody, please join me in a moment of silence. Corporal Mohammed Syed. Police Officer Mark Cleveland Radden, Detroit Police Department. End of watch Wednesday, February 5th, 1986. Officer Mark Radden and Officer Jack Buffa were shot and killed in a case of mistaken identity. Officer Buffa and his partner, who were in plain clothes, were performing a drug raid at a home. At the same time of the raid, Officer Radden and his partner, also in plain clothes, were responding to a reporting of a shooting at the same home. Neither pair of officers knew the other was at the home, and when they encountered each other, shots were exchanged. Officer Radden and Officer Buffa were both fatally wounded. Officer Radden is survived by his young daughter, parents, and 3 siblings. Officer Mark Cleveland Radden, age 24, badge 4850. Moment of silence, please, for Officer Radden. Police Officer Walter L. Darcy, Detroit Police Department. End of watch Friday, June 4th, 1926. Officer Darcy was shot and killed by a suspect believed to be a watchman at a speakeasy at 7567 Berner Street. His body was taken to a barn at 5500 Tarnow Street and dumped there. The watchman was arrested, charged with murder, and acquitted. The watchman said he thought the officer was a hijacker. Officer Darcy had served with the Detroit Police Department for 4 years. He had served as a U.S. Marine in World War I and was survived by his wife, 3 children, his parents, and a brother. Officer Walter L. Darcy, age 28, badge 1210. Moment of silence, please, for Officer Darcy. Police Officer Franklin Smith, Detroit Police Department, end of watch, August 24th, 1911. Police Officer Franklin Smith was killed when he was run over by a fire wagon being pulled by horses. He and several other mounted officers were responding to in front of the fire wagon, clearing a path while en route to the fire. When Officer Smith stopped to hold back a crowd, his horse backed up and was struck by one of the horses pulling the wagon, knocking him to the ground. The wagon then ran over Officer Smith. Officer Smith had served with the Detroit Police Department for 2 years and was survived by his wife and 3 children. Officer Franklin M. Smith, age 29. Moment of silence for Officer Smith, please. Police Officer Andrew H. Adine, Detroit Police Department. End of watch Sunday, June 28, 1936. Officer Adine and Officer Frank Winarski were killed in an automobile accident during a vehicle pursuit of several robbery suspects. Their patrol car left the roadway and struck a tree at the intersection of Davison and Carey Street. Officer Winarski died at the scene of the accident, and Officer Adine succumbed to his injuries 1 week later. Officer Adine had served with the Detroit Police Department for 10 years and was survived by his wife. Officer Andrew H. Adine, age 38. Moment of silence for Officer Adine, please. Lieutenant Johnny C. Schultz, Detroit Police Department. End of watch Sunday, December 7th, 1986. It's today, December 7th. 38 years ago today. Lieutenant Johnny Schultz succumbed to a gunshot wound sustained 10 years earlier when he was shot during a robbery. He was off duty waiting in line at a fast food restaurant when a man entered the Church's Chicken at 12701 Joy Road around 12:50 a.m. and announced a robbery. Lieutenant Schultz identified himself and ordered the man to drop his gun. The man turned around and opened fire, striking Lieutenant Schultz in the head. Lieutenant Schultz remained in a coma from the time of the shooting until his death 10 years later. The subject was arrested and charged with assault with intent to commit murder. He was sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison and paroled in 1985. That'll be in this one. Maybe 90. Lieutenant Schultz had been injured in 1974 during a narcotics raid. Lieutenant Schultz had served with the Detroit Police Department for 8 years. He was survived by his wife and 3 children. His wife gave birth to a daughter 11 days after he was shot. Lieutenant Johnny Schultz, age 36. A moment of silence, please. This wreath is being laid in honor of all of the police officers and correction officers who died in the line of duty from COVID-19. Beginning in early 2020, thousands of law enforcement officers and other first responders throughout the country began to contract COVID-19. During the worldwide pandemic, due to the nature of their job, law enforcement officers are required to work and interact with the community, even as the majority of the country was self-quarantined. As a result, hundreds of officers died from COVID-related illnesses and other complications. Corrections agencies in particular suffered tremendous losses due to constant and close proximity between the correction officers and large inmate population. Since March 2020, Officer Down Memorial Page has verified over 900 law enforcement officers have died as a result of confirmed or presumed exposure while on duty. In Michigan, there have been 17 deaths officially attributed to COVID-19. This wreath is in honor of those 17 officers whose names I will read now. Captain Jonathan David Parnell, Detroit Police Department. End of watch, March 24th, 2020. Commander Donna Faye Collins, Wayne County Sheriff Office. End of watch, March 25th, 2020. Corporal Dean Michael Savard, Wayne County Sheriff's Office. End of watch, April 3rd, 2020. Sergeant William James Darnell, DeWitt Township Police Department. End of watch November 4th, 2020. Sheriff Benny Napoleon, Wayne County Sheriff's Office. End of watch December 17th, 2020. Chief Fred Allen Potsevitz, Clinton Township Police Department. End of watch March 22nd, 2021. Corporal Khalil Biddle, Detroit Police Department. End of watch August 17th, 2021. Corrections Deputy Kevin Kokinis, Branch County Sheriff's Office. End of watch August 22nd, 2021. Deputy Sheriff Daryl Lamar Henderson, Shiawassee County Sheriff's Office. End of watch September 11, 2021. Deputy Sheriff David Cook, Kent County Sheriff Office. End of watch November 1st, 2021. Sergeant Todd Lawrence LaVille, Michigan State Police. End of watch December 9th, 2021. Deputy Sheriff James Allen Lear, Van Buren County Sheriff's Office. End of watch December 10th, 2021. Sergeant Raymond Darnell Hughes, Detroit Police Department. End of watch December 17th, 2021. Corporal John Joseph Wojciechowski, Wayne County Sheriff's Office. End of watch December 21st, 2021. Officer Brian Vogel, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, Detroit Post. End of watch December 30th, 2021. Corporal Ernest M. Robinson, Wayne County Sheriff Office. End of watch January 18th, 2022. Sergeant Daniel Allen Camerzell, Shelby Township Police Department. End of watch November 5th, 2022. And Lieutenant Frederick Charles Bowens Jr., Detroit Police Department. End of watch March 13th, 2023. And please have a moment of silence for these 18 officers that died as a result of COVID-19.